Have you ever wondered why life is filled with suffering? This question, universal and relevant to every individual's life, is a central theme in Buddhism. It's a question that permeates our existence, mystifying us with its complexity and depth. It's a question that makes us human, pushing us to seek understanding and solace. And it's a question that has echoed through the centuries, seeking an answer in the hearts of those who dare to contemplate it. Perhaps the answer lies in the teachings of a man named Siddhartha Gautama, better known as Buddha. The Siddhartha Gautama, who would later become Buddha, was born in the 5th century BCE in Lumbini, now in modern-day Nepal. As a prince, he was raised in the lap of luxury, shielded from the harsh realities of life by his father, King Suddhodana. Siddhartha's life was one of opulence and privilege, a life far removed from the world outside the palace walls. However, a series of profound encounters would shatter this idyllic world. On rare ventures outside his palace, Siddhartha was confronted with the harsh truths of human existence. He saw an old man, a sick person, and a corpse for the first time, experiences that deeply disturbed him. He realized that life was permeated with suffering and that no one, not even a prince, could escape old age, sickness, or death. This realization led to a profound inner turmoil. Siddhartha began to question the meaning of life and the nature of suffering. He was struck by the stark contrast between his own life of comfort and the suffering he saw outside his palace. This spurred him on a spiritual quest for understanding and liberation from the cycle of suffering. Eventually, Siddhartha made a monumental decision. He chose to renounce his princely status and his family, trading his royal robes for the simple garb of an ascetic. He left the comforts of his palace, determined to seek a way to end human suffering. And so began Siddhartha's journey towards enlightenment, a journey that would transform him into the Buddha. Siddhartha sought wisdom from various spiritual teachers, but none provided the answers he sought. In his relentless pursuit for truth, Siddhartha embarked on an intense period of asceticism. He believed that by denying the flesh, he could free the spirit. For 6 years he led a life of extreme deprivation, surviving on a single grain of rice a day, meditating in isolation, and exposing his body to harsh conditions. This path was as challenging and demanding as it gets, but Siddhartha was determined. His body grew frail, his strength waned, but his spirit remained undeterred. However, as the days turned into months, and months into years, Siddhartha began to question the path he had chosen. Was this extreme deprivation truly leading him to the answers he sought? He realized that his body was weakening, but his understanding was not deepening. His pursuit for enlightenment was turning into a battle for survival. It was in this crucial moment of introspection that Siddhartha had an epiphany. He realized that neither the indulgence he had known as a prince, nor the deprivation he was experiencing as an ascetic, could lead to enlightenment. It was a profound understanding that the path to enlightenment lay not in extremes, but in balance, in a middle way. With this newfound understanding, Siddhartha decided to break his fast, to nourish his body so he could nourish his mind. He sat beneath a Bodhi tree, determined to meditate until he found the answers he sought. As he meditated, his mind became clear, and he began to perceive the true nature of reality. And then, one day, as the morning star appeared in the eastern sky, Siddhartha attained enlightenment. He saw the interconnectedness of all life, the cycle of birth, death and rebirth, and the causes of suffering. He understood the path to liberation from this cycle. He experienced a profound peace and a deep sense of knowing. He was no longer Siddhartha, the seeker. He had become the Buddha, the enlightened one. In that moment of enlightenment, Siddhartha Gautama became the Buddha, the enlightened one. After his enlightenment, Buddha spent the rest of his life teaching others the path to liberation from suffering. His teachings, central to the religion of Buddhism, revolve around the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path. The Four Noble Truths, as taught by Buddha, are the truths of suffering, the origin of suffering, the cessation of suffering, and the path that leads to this cessation. These truths form the backbone of Buddhist philosophy, shedding light on the realities of existence and offering a roadmap to spiritual liberation. The first truth, known as dukkha, acknowledges the pervasive nature of suffering. Buddha taught that life, in its essence, is a cycle of birth, sickness, aging, and death, all of which entail suffering. But it's not just physical pain. The truth of dukkha also encompasses the psychological distress of dissatisfaction, disappointment, and unfulfilled desires. The second truth, samudaya, points to the origin or cause of this suffering. Buddha identified desire or craving as the root of dukkha. This isn't just about wanting material possessions, It also covers the craving for ideas, experiences, and even for existence itself. The third truth, Nirodha, offers hope. It states that it's possible to end suffering by eliminating its root cause, that is, desire. By letting go of attachment, one can attain a state of liberation and peace. The fourth truth, Magga, outlines the path leading to the cessation of suffering. This is where the Eightfold Path comes in. It's essentially a guide to ethical and mental development, covering areas like right understanding, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Together, these truths and the Eightfold Path provide a comprehensive approach to living a life that can lead to liberation and enlightenment. It's not about escaping or denying life's realities, but rather understanding and navigating them in a way that leads to inner peace and ultimate liberation. These teachings, intended to guide individuals towards liberation and enlightenment, form the foundation of Buddhism. Their relevance and wisdom continue to resonate with millions around the world, offering a path to navigate the complexities of life. Buddha passed away at the age of 80, but his teachings continue to guide millions of people around the world. After his death, the words of Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, spread like wildfire beyond the borders of his native India, reaching every corner of Asia and eventually the world. The teachings that began with one man under a Bodhi tree transformed into a global philosophy, a beacon of wisdom for all who seek understanding and liberation. Buddhism first took root in Southeast Asia, flourishing in countries like Sri Lanka, Thailand, Cambodia, and Burma. From there it journeyed along the Silk Road, finding a home in China, Korea, and Japan. Each new culture it encountered absorbed and interpreted Buddha's teachings in their own unique way, leading to the establishment of various Buddhist traditions. These diverse traditions, from Theravada to Mahayana, Zen to Tibetan Buddhism, each hold a different lens to the Buddha's teachings but all share the same core principles. These principles of the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, the teachings on suffering and the path to liberation, continue to resonate with individuals across cultures and generations. In the modern world, amidst the noise and haste, the teachings of Buddha remain as relevant as ever. They offer guidance to navigate the complexities of life, providing a framework for ethical living and mental development. They teach us to cultivate mindfulness and compassion, to understand the nature of suffering, and to strive for nirvana, the ultimate liberation. Buddha's teachings have also found their way into fields outside of religion. In psychology, mindfulness-based therapies have been developed based on Buddhist meditation practices. In philosophy and ethics, Buddhist principles continue to inspire discussions on morality and the human condition. In a world that seems increasingly chaotic and divided, the Buddha's teachings offer a path towards understanding and peace. They remind us of our shared humanity, our capacity for compassion, and the potential for liberation within us all. In a world still grappling with suffering, the Buddha's teachings offer a path towards understanding and liberation. From a prince to an ascetic and finally to the Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama's journey is a testament to the human quest for understanding and liberation from suffering. As we bring our exploration to a close, let's take a moment to reflect on the key points we've uncovered. Born into royalty, Siddhartha Gautama relinquished his privileged life to seek answers to the profound questions of existence. His pursuit led him to the realization of the Four Noble Truths, the fundamental principles of Buddhism that address suffering and the path to liberation. Through his teachings, Buddha offered a roadmap to ethical and mental development known as the Eightfold Path. This path, when followed diligently, guides individuals toward a state of ultimate liberation and enlightenment, termed nirvana in Buddhism. It's not a destination, but a state of being where suffering ceases to exist. Buddha's teachings also emphasized the practice of meditation as a means to achieve this state of nirvana. Through meditation, one can cultivate mindfulness, gain insight into the nature of reality, and ultimately, alleviate suffering. In the centuries since Buddha's time, his teachings have been interpreted and practiced in diverse ways, leading to the emergence of various Buddhist traditions. Yet at their core, all these traditions uphold the same fundamental principles and aim for the same goal: liberation from suffering. In the realm of bodhisattvas, we find beings who've made the extraordinary vow to attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. This concept underscores the deep compassion and altruism embedded in Buddhist philosophy. Perhaps the most significant aspect of Buddha's teachings is their timeless relevance. In an ever-changing world, the principles of Buddhism continue to offer profound insights into the human condition. They encourage us to confront and comprehend suffering, to cultivate compassion, and to strive for liberation. Buddha's journey, his teachings, and his enduring legacy remind us that it's possible to transcend the challenges of life, to attain peace, and to impact the world positively. As we navigate the complexities of life, the Buddha's teachings continue to illuminate the path towards understanding, compassion, and liberation from suffering.